Well, I do hope you haven't come here looking for anything to do with cricket, because if you have, you're going to be very disappointed.
Please pardon me.
Hello, and welcome to my shiny new YouTube channel. This is a sentence I never thought I'd ever hear come out of my mouth. First thing is I probably should explain the name. The name 60 Not Out refers to my impending glorious age. I'm coming up to 60 in a couple of weeks' time. It's also a message that I'm still very much in the game, with plenty more innings left in me yet. It's also a veiled reference to the fact that something did actually almost take me out of the game before the end of the first half. Actually, you don't have halves in cricket, do you? That's football. Oh, anyway, you know what I mean. Because 10 years ago, I had breast cancer. And yeah, it was quite a, well, it was the whole 9 yards, basically. Anyway, I'm still here. It takes more than 5 tumours and a few dodgy lymph nodes to finish me. So, in the immortal words of dear old Elton, I'm still standing. And I'm feeling better than I ever did. And everyone's always telling me that I'm a true survivor. And at the moment, I really do feel like a little kid, because I'm so excited about this, about what I'm going to be up to next. So here we are, a whole new world, a whole new life, quite a culture shock in a good way. But if anyone had told me 10 years ago that I would be trading my heels and handbags for wellies and woolies, I would never have believed them. It's funny, isn't it, the way life goes? You know what they say, never say never. Well, I had a very long list of nevers. I was never going to live with anyone again, let alone get married again. I was never going to leave London. That was it. That was me till the end of time. I would be carried out of my lovely Marylebone flat in a pine box. What else? Oh, yeah. Oh, and I would never ever retire. Never going to retire. That's that thing you do just before you die, isn't it? But here we are, and over the course of the last 10 years, I have very happily ticked every single box and a lot more besides. There were a lot of nevers. So here we are. I have a wonderful husband of coming up 8 years, a beautiful home, financial security for the first time in my life, and you could say, I would say, I am a very, very lucky lady. But it wasn't always like that. While we do this next bit, I've just got to get myself tarted up because we are going out for dinner with friends. It's somebody's 50th birthday. So there's a socially distanced dinner party. So why might you think I was worth following? Why would you want to come back next week? Well, as you gathered, I've led a fairly colourful life and experienced an awful lot of things. And you don't get to experience all of that without learning a few things and gleaning a few insights, which I would be delighted to share with you. Obviously, there's the breast cancer thing. That's pretty big. And I've got lots and lots of things I can share with you on that, from how to keep an eye open for it and catch it early, to how to deal with it if you are unfortunate enough to contract it. And I'm not just talking about the practical stuff, about where to go for wigs and what to do when your nails fall off. Oh, they do, by the way. When you have chemo, everybody knows you lose your hair, but what they don't think about is you actually lose your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your pubes, and your fingernails. And I've always had really, really nice long fingernails. And that was actually as tough as losing my hair, actually. Anyway, so there's all that kind of stuff, and adjusting your makeup. And then there's the psychological aspects of it, which I think is much more important and much more interesting in some ways, about how you look at something like that happening to you and how you deal with it, and how you don't drive yourself insane thinking, oh, it's going to come back, oh, I'm going to get it again. All that stuff. I did an awful lot of work on myself on all that stuff. So yeah, that might be of interest. Heaven forbid you get diagnosed and you're in that position yourself, but maybe it's somebody close to you. They don't call it the female plague for nothing, and it's not a very exclusive club anymore, I'm afraid. And then of course there's divorce and getting back out there again in later life, getting your mojo back, getting some confidence back, maybe giving yourself a bit of a freshen up and a new image, and the online dating, because that's really about the only way you ever meet anyone these days is online dating. I don't think anybody ever picks anyone up in a pub anymore. Maybe they do, but certainly online dating is the way to go. Worked for me. I met Gary through eHarmony. He wanted us to go back to them and tell them that we were getting married so that they'd pay for our wedding. I didn't. I listened to that. Last thing I wanted. That would have been horrendous. Oh, how embarrassing. Anyway, and then there's the horse racing world, which is absolutely bloody fascinating, actually. There's so much more to it than you realise if you're not in that world. It's a great leveller. There's certainly no class structure in racing. You get lords and ladies and landed gentry, and you get dustmen. I mean, if you love racing and horses, unfortunately the gambling comes with it, which of course is something I'm a bit allergic to after my past experience with my ex. But hey, unfortunately my darling other half isn't a gambler. He have a flutter if we've got something running or we actually go to the races, but he doesn't have any bookies accounts like Bet365 and all these others. Horse racing is an awful lot of fun. It's quite glamorous. I mean, you get an excuse to wear a hat and get all dolled up on a regular basis. So yeah, taking you with us on some of those little jaunts, I think will be quite intriguing, quite entertaining for you. I don't believe in dressing your age. I think it's more about dressing your attitude, really. Dressing to suit your shape, which is the same whatever age you are. When you get to 60, you probably can't get away with wearing pussy helmets and hot pants anymore, if indeed you ever could. So, which brush do I want? Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's just really all about not looking like frumpy old granny grunt and not looking like mutton dressed as lamb, but looking pretty and elegant and put together, and a nod to the current trends that shows that you're still aware, you're still in the game, you're still finger on the pulse. You know that sleeveless jumpers are in this year. You wouldn't be seen dead in one, but you know that they're in. And yeah, just sort of how to adapt the current trends to suit you, your personality, your figure, your lifestyle, all the usual stuff really. But yeah, that could be a lot of fun, and it's getting the dressing up box out time, which will be fun. There's all that, and then there's the skincare and the beauty stuff, which is obviously I'm going to be looking at things that are relevant to a 60-year-old. So what skincare is really effective, what really works and tried and trusted, what isn't, what doesn't. Procedures, I'm going to investigate all that stuff. I'm going to be taking a little trip down Harley Street, and I'm going to be going for lots of meetings with various practitioners of this, that and the other, Botox even, Sculptra, all the injectables and whatnot. And also I'm going to investigate a certain amount of say plastic surgery. It's a quaint old-fashioned term, isn't it? But you know what I mean, nips and tucks. And I'm not saying I'm going to have any, because I'm not. I am absolutely not. But I'm very intrigued to find out more about it and see what's involved and how much it costs, and just have a look at sort of some befores and afters, just fact finding really, just from a sort of journalistic point of view. Last but by no means least, of course, there's the interiors bit. The fact that this is a lovely way for me to indulge my passion for interiors and interior design, and for you to potentially benefit from some creative input from moi. I'll start with this place and take you on some room tours and talk about what I've done here and why I did it the way I did it, and also some other projects that I've done in the recent past, our flat in London, and then there's the flat in Paris, which I think you will be very interested to see. In fact, I keep having more and more ideas and I'm jotting them down, but I'm going to leave it at that for now. And I think there's more than enough to get my teeth into for the first half a dozen or more videos. So yeah, I hope you do come back next week, because we are heading up to London. I have got my first post-lockdown haircut. Oh God, I can't wait. My hair is such a mess. I have had really, really short hair for the last 10 years, ever since it grew back after chemo. I just kept it really, really short because everybody said how nice it looked. But I've had the same hairstyle for 10 years. And then during lockdown, of course, like everybody, I couldn't get a haircut because I certainly wasn't going to go anywhere near London. And even if it was a local one, nothing was open. So I just left it. We weren't going anywhere, wasn't seeing anybody, so it didn't really matter very much. And so yeah, I went once and just had a very light trim and a bit of a tidy up because I had decided to grow it out. Just fancied a change really. So I'm growing it into a sort of jaw length, neck length, textured layered bob. It did look quite nice a couple of months ago, but it's now at that horrible kind of neither one thing or the other stage. And I've only got candy floss hair anyway, particularly on the top. Yeah, so I'm going to go and have a bit of a restyle in time for the old birthday, which is the following week. So yeah, so we've got a night in London. We are meeting friends for dinner at the Ivy. And then we are staying at a really lovely hotel. Have you heard of Firmdale Hotels? It's a small chain, very designery. Certainly for anyone that's into interior design, it is absolutely, oh, ouch. They are mecca, because the husband and wife team that started Firmdale Hotels, the wife is one Kit Kemp, who is a self-taught interior designer, and she's styled all of their hotels, and they're stunning, absolutely stunning. And I can spot one of her interiors from 30 paces if it's in a photo in a magazine or something. She's such an inimitable style. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. We're staying at number 16, which is in Knightsbridge, and I've never even eaten there before. I've done most of the others, but not that one. And because we're meeting friends at the Ivy, it was close by. So anyway, that's next week, so that'll be my next video, so that'll be fun. Like a wind chime. If you like these, I've got the matching bracelet. I got those in a sale last summer in John Lewis, but they're actually Kate Spade. So yes, these are my Pat Butcher specials. Oh well, I better get my lippy on. Gary will be chasing me any minute now. Oh, right on cue.
Choo-choo.
Come on, are you ready?
I am just put my lippy on. I'm ready.
Okay. See you in a minute.
All right. Okay, dokie. That's Gary, of whom you've heard so much. Right, I better get a move on. Now, before we say goodnight, I wonder if I can ask you a big favour. Please, could you just give me a thumbs up in the time on tradition down below, and press the follow, subscribe button, because that way then you'll get a little nudge next week when I post the next one, and then you can come back and find out what we get up to on our jolly jaunt to London. And yeah, and in the meantime, please look after yourselves and stay safe and stay out of the way of this bloody thing that's doing the rounds. Oh God, this COVID-19 monster. Who'd have thought this was going to happen, huh?
Please pardon me when I'm watching